Brittany McLean here in your CBC Sports studios in Toronto, and today I'm lucky to be joined by Canadian Olympian in freestyle skiing, Amy Fraser. Now, Amy's had a fantastic start to her season, making waves with multiple podium finishes already so far in 2025. Most recently, Amy won back-to-back bronze medals in halfpipe at the X Games and World Cup in Aspen. She now joins us today from back home in Calgary. Amy, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with Aspen. Obviously, it was a really strong way to start 2025. What was clicking so well there?
I think probably just a combination of things, like the halfpipe we were skiing in. The halfpipe we were skiing in was unreal. It was like great weather for a halfpipe contest. Body was feeling good. Already had a few contests out of the way, so like the nerves, I don't know, the nerves are still there, but better at kind of riding how nervous I am. And yeah, I don't know, just working hard.
And to start off, it was X Games, and you shared the podium with teammate Cassie Sharp. I know this women's program seems to be always someone we talk like in the conversation of a success story, but it must be pretty cool between Rachel and Cassie and yourself, kind of fighting for those podium spots. Can you tell us what it's like to be a part of this successful women's team right now?
I think it's so rad. I feel really lucky, like especially when I joined the team, to be skiing with the best skiers in the world. I think the Canadian team's so strong, and honestly, it's so rad, especially sharing like a podium with Cassie. Just like I think you guys met her and her baby Lou, and it's like so rad getting to travel the world with her and her family. And I think we're really lucky. We all kind of push each other, and I think that's a huge testament, like to how we train is how we compete, and we train and compete kind of against each other all the time. So it's really cool to kind of see that come to fruition in a contest setting.
And then we pivot a bit to the World Cup that came after. You got to stay in Aspen, which must be nice. And obviously after a medal performance, it must feel good that you kind of are familiar with the halfpipe. And then you mentioned on your socials, though, you had a bit of a boot situation. So we had to ask if you can elaborate any more on what happened there.
Oh, it wasn't really a boot situation. The guy at Surefoot said, "You better shout me out on your Instagram." So I like made sure. I just had like a spot around my ankle that was just kind of hurting a little bit, and took it to them, and they did it for free, which was super nice. And yeah, shout out to Connor from Surefoot.
I love it. The shout outs just keep continuing. We've spoken a lot about the success so far this season. Are there any other contributing factors? I mean, you say the confidence. You must be riding on a bit of a high right now. What do you attribute to this, really strong season so far?
I think, honestly, just kind of my work ethic. I feel like last season I had a really good season, and kind of started off the year not how I would have liked, but my skiing is kind of trending and how I want to be performing, and like getting grabs and skiing cleaner. And I think it's really easy to watch a contest and be like, oh my God, like, why aren't these skiers doing the best they're doing? And they're like nervous and maybe had a crash. And like, there's all these different factors that go on before like the actual contest setting. And I think just stars kind of aligning with, training coming together and good contests. And yeah.
You're riding the wave, which we love to see. As an athlete myself, I totally understand it and I love it. I wanted to ask a bit about support and family, because you have some ties to out east. You have, some people in Halifax cheering you on. I know you have some people in Toronto and Ottawa as well. Do you feel their support from afar? Now you're living in Calgary. Has that been a challenge, or kind of is that a way that you stay connected to family and friends, knowing that you have something greater to represent?
It's pretty cool. I think I don't know, phones make it pretty easy to stay connected with everyone these days. And I love getting messages from like great aunts and stuff, like watching down in the US or watching in Ontario. And I always love getting messages, like people saying like good luck, or even after the contest saying like you did such a good job. And yeah, I don't know, it's super nice being able to connect with family that way.
And this weekend's going to be an exciting one, because we have the Home World Cup in Calgary. You must be very much looking forward to it. I know we are. I wanted to ask about just your general outlook going into a World Cup in general, but especially one that's happening at home.
Honestly, I feel like we have the advantage because I train in this half pipe a lot, and it's been riding super well this year. The half pipe cutter is like did such a good job. So I'm honestly just really excited for this week. It's always fun competing in front of a home crowd and friends and family coming out. I do wish it was a bit warmer, however. I think that's the only thing that's got me nervous, but I did choose a winter sport, so I'll just suit up and make do. But yeah, I don't know, just really looking forward to this week.
I love how you say the half pipe carver as if that's like a normal statement. I was like things that we all don't say too much, but it is a very fair statement, and I love learning more about so many different intricacies within the sport. That's fascinating to me. But you mentioned it's a really, really great kind of home field advantage, and you'll be able to go in there with confidence. Talking a little bit about confidence, this is a great way to be preparing for the Olympic Games. We're just over 1 year out from Milano Cortina. You've already met that Method A qualifying standard, so you're one step in the right direction in terms of getting closer to naming yourself to that team. I wondered if, the confidence you have right now, does that give you any sense of relief or extra excitement going into the Olympic Games next year?
I think a little bit. It's a bit of like relief being like, okay, maybe like the qualifying process is a bit easier in a sense because of that. But I'd say I'm still just as driven. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm always stoked to be on the podium, but they're just bronzes. I want to be on the top of the box, obviously. So I know I've got some work to do with my own skiing and things I want to accomplish between now and then. So yeah, just kind of readjusting goals a bit, and yeah, maybe can breathe a little bit or give myself some grace if I like have a bad contest, but that's not the plan.
Yeah, and those back home that are unfamiliar, there are about 25 different ways that you need to kind of check boxes to qualify. There's obviously you can feel really good about this first Method A, and you've gotten to a couple podiums this year, but there's still a ton more to come. And I do appreciate that insight of I can take a deep breath, but I can't let myself get too comfortable, which is awesome. Any goals specifically you have when you think about the Olympic Games? I know you mentioned, you want to move up from bronze. Is making it the big goal, or are you really setting your sights now that you've competed at one Olympics that you want to strive for more?
Definitely strive for more. Last games, I still felt really new to the sport. And it was kind of like, I don't know. I remember always saying like, it's all gravy, baby. Because like, I mean, anything could happen at the Olympics. Like anything can happen on a contest day. Like top dogs can have like some mellow falls. Like you never want to wish a big fall, and like anything can happen. But that's not the strategy going into the next games. I want to ski as best as I can. And that's learning a few new tricks and polishing up my own skiing as well. And yeah, showing up and performing when I get there.
It's all gravy. Hey, I think that's still relevant today. I would take that mentality through to the second Olympics. But like you said, like you only started this sport competitively in 2019, and then you're already at the Olympic Games in 2022. So you've pretty much doubled your experience over the last quad, and hopefully that sets itself up well for the Olympics. Going into something a bit more fun, I was looking through your social media, and I was amazed at how many adventures you get up to. I think so many athletes travel the world, and unfortunately you don't always get to see the locations you visit, but it looks like you've been skydiving, you've swam with sharks and stingrays. Does that type of adrenaline junkie in you help a little with your like cross training, or does it allow you to ground yourself a little bit when it comes to sport?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I love doing all those things. I love doing those things with teammates. Like when we went bungee jumping in New Zealand this year, like, I don't know, I'm still terrified, but kind of like as soon as I did the first jump, I was like, oh my God, I want to do that again. Like it's so much fun. Yeah, I think it's good to take advantage of the places we travel to and see and experience new things. Like every trip's a bit different, and we don't always know like if the weather's going to be great for skiing or if it isn't. So definitely maximizing those opportunities when we're on the road. I love doing that sort of stuff and trying new things, and yeah.
I love it. And I think that there has to be some sort of parallel between, trusting your gut and jumping off a bungee jump to then trying a new trick on the half pipe or something. Like there's got to be something there. Just quickly before we let you go, why, if Canadians aren't able to be there in Calgary for the World Cup this week, why should they be tuning in? What makes the sport so exciting? And what's your kind of pitch to the audience to make sure they're supporting you?
I think being there In person is obviously the best, but yeah, second best is definitely tuning in. I think halfpipe skiing is one of the coolest sports. Like, it's insane. There's like a 22-foot ice U-shaped thing cut into the ground, and people are like just doing flips down it. It's crazy. It's insanely impressive. I'm super excited to watch everyone throw down this week. Like, the best in the world are coming to Calgary. Um, I don't think that happens. It doesn't happen often in our sport, at least, and we're lucky to have this event at home. And yeah, I don't know, tune in. There's always like funny things, there's crazy things. I don't know, people can be throwing down new tricks. You never know. Like, yeah, it'll be really exciting to watch.
Well, you heard it here first. You do not want to miss it. Everything will be live on CBC Sports Saturday evening. And of course, if you're in Calgary, make sure you're getting out and supporting the athletes. We really appreciate your time today, Amy, and best of luck this weekend and the rest of your season.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.